I'm so excited to introduce you to Independent Sales Director, Ms. Hope Davidson. Officially today, 2-year anniversary in Mary Kay. And coming up on her 1-year anniversary as the sales director. And we are so excited to hear what Hope has been inspired to inspire us with. And we just love this because whether it's in your marriage business, your personal life, you're going to walk away just high on life tonight and being able to roll over into the next week with your cup filled and overflowing. And so I hope you have something to take notes, which you all do, which is exciting. And we are so thrilled to hear from you. So thank you. Take it away.
All right. Okay, I'm really excited to talk on this because it's something that I've been dealing with for a while. And as I was talking to the directors about the topic, I realized that they were also dealing with this same topic. And so at the end of this, each one of them is going to come up, and I haven't decided yet if I'm going to talk about my stuff throughout or at the end. I'm just going to roll with it. But they're going to share a little bit about the topic. And so the topic tonight is kind of finding your joy or finding joy in your journey. Because really, this time of year can be a really amazing time for people and exciting and joyful, but it can also be a really sad time for people. And it certainly is that for me and my family. About this time 4 years ago, we lost my nephew. He was 4. It was on the 16th, so like a week before Christmas. It was a really sad time, and it was really hard to find joy in anything because it was so unexpected and it was very quick. And so whether you have lost your joy because of a lost loved one, a lost relationship, lost financial stability, just really anything. So many things can steal people. They can try and steal our joy. The point is that happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. And the Dalai Lama said that. And so I'm really excited to talk about this tonight. And so at the end, they're going to come up and kind of share kind of where they're finding their joy right now. And so I just want you to know that you can find joy again if you don't have it right now. And if you have it, hold on to it because it's really going to take you through those times when you may not be feeling it and you feel like you may not be able to come out of it. So let's see, I've been in New Mexico 5 years now. I keep telling everybody, oh, I've only been here 3 years, I've only been here 3 years, but it's been 5. As I realized, I'm like, wow, I didn't even realize it was that long. And seriously, ever since I moved here, I feel like I've been tested, my family's been tested with a lot of trials. And the first one was losing our nephew. And then we had a lot of other losses after that. I had a lot of personal family crisis happen. And I just really found myself at times being just like, when am I ever going to smile again? I mean, I made a fake smile, but it wasn't like true feeling happy. And so, you know, I really think it's important to remember that we are the deciding factor in whether or not we have joy again. Somebody can say something to hurt us and try and make us feel bad, and we can feel bad for a minute, and it will hurt us, and we'll cry, or whatever, and that's okay. But we have the power to find that joy again. And so I just kind of want to ask you rhetorically, no, that's the right word, right? Okay, thank you. So what dreams, desires, feelings, or needs of your own have you pushed aside because you didn't feel joy at the time? Or you're like, oh, I just don't feel like it's for me, or I'm just not happy doing what I'm doing. That is temporary. It's not permanent. I think a lot of times we tend to push aside what we truly want and desire because either we're fearful or we just kind of lose joy for a moment. And if you had followed those dreams that you pushed aside, how would your life be different from now? And I think it's really important to ask ourselves that because sometimes we'll say, oh, I'm fine. I'm good at where I'm at. I'm okay. I kind of give you about 8 guidelines that I've kind of discovered that can help you create joy. You don't have to do all of them. Pick one. Do all of them, whatever makes you feel comfortable or whatever excites you or leads you to find your joy again. And understand that you're the driver of your own life. And as you journey through, you have choices about what path you want to take. So the people you pick up along the way can influence your life, good or bad. They can. Some people are in our life for a reason, some for a season. But you still remain in control of that. So you can remove those people if you need to, if they're not bringing you joy. And you can add people that bring you joy. Or for one of the first ways that you can create joy, because sometimes we really have to be creative. Like, things just happen, life happens, situations happen, and we're just not happy. We feel sad, we feel depressed, we feel anxious, we're critical, we're defensive, we're angry, and it's just, we don't know what to do. So the first thing I would like to tell you is tell yourself a new story, and that your current story doesn't have to be the end all be all. So right now, if you were to ask yourself, okay, what is my current story in life, and how does that make me feel? If it doesn't make you feel good, when you tell it to yourself, to somebody else, stop telling that story. Even if it is negative, put a spin on it. Instead, make the story, tell it in a way that makes you feel inspired, positive, even if it's not your story yet. Even if it's not where you are, but it's where you're going, tell yourself that, because it will radically change your soul, like seriously. And what you speak about, you bring about. So if you're speaking negative, positive, my life is miserable, that is what is gonna follow you. And it may feel that way. I'm not saying you can't feel, because I think that's important, but you've gotta fight for it. You really have to fight for it. You haven't found your calling yet, and every day it feels like you're on a hamster wheel that's just never ending, but you will, and it's okay to kind of take your time, because your journey is your journey. And that's that. You can change it. You have the power to change it. What have you always wanted to do in life that you've been too afraid to? You know, what activities have given you the greatest feeling of achievement? Like in the past, if you haven't done it in a while. If you could do anything, what would you do to be one step closer to what brings you joy, or what is going to make you happy? I've had to tell myself a lot of new stories these past 5 years. I mean, we've really been tested a lot. And so when we lost our nephew, it was just, that was our story. And I really thought that was the end. Like, okay, this is our story, period. But I was so like under this cloud that I wasn't being present for my son, who was still here. And so I had to find joy in that, or joy in taking him to the park. Even if it was getting up and making a cup of coffee that tasted amazing. That was my joy that day, because I couldn't see past anything else. And that's okay. It's okay if it's these little small things. Feel the thoughts that make you feel good, not that make you feel bad. Sometimes I feel like, or not I feel, it can feel like our thoughts are thinking us, and that we have no control over them. Like our thoughts are racing and, oh, I just cannot get out of this funk, that I feel so bad and I feel so horrible. But in reality, we really have control over them. So I want you to think for a minute, how many thoughts do you have each day that are anxious, critical, defensive, or frustrated? Like think about that, you know, like how many times do you get frustrated at a coworker, or I can't tell you how many times I get frustrated at my 3-year-old, you know? I mean, it happens, but we really do have control over that. Most of our everyday thinking is driven by your unconscious mind, which is far greater than the conscious mind, and that's kind of scary to me, but I mean, it's our mind, so don't be too scared. There's like not somebody in there like controlling you. This is why it may feel almost impossible to retrain your thoughts, because the unconscious mind is so present. But as with most things, practice is going to make progress. And so if you retrain yourself to, when you're in the middle of feeling anxious or critical of yourself, rethinking that into a positive, joyful experience, because if you're speaking that way to yourself, you're just going to feel that way. The first thought you have is human nature. It's okay to be like, that stupid driver cut me off. What is wrong with him? It's okay to think that. But it's your next thought that's really going to make the difference. Oh, well, he's in a hurry and he wasn't paying attention. You know, just give him some grace. You know, just have a second thought. That would be my advice there. Reach for the thoughts that make you feel good and practice holding on to them. Like if, for example, you had a bad day at work, a coworker was mean, your boss cursed you out, like whatever that is, don't tell your story that. Anna was telling us something today. I won't go into detail, but I mean, it wasn't anything bad, but she was like, oh my gosh, this day was going this, and this, but it's getting better. That was her ending thought. It wasn't, this day is horrible and everything is wrong in the world and I am so angry. It was, this has been my morning, but it's better, okay? And that is so powerful. I mean, versus somebody who's just like throws everything away and just goes and hides under a rock. I mean, we only have one life to live. Why not choose joy, you know? I mean, like, and if you have kids, if your kids are on the demonic side one day and you just don't think you're gonna come out of it, come on, let's be honest. Something overtakes them and it's just like, what happened to you? don't tell yourself that. They're being demonic. Just say, this is a great parenting moment for me. And it takes time. I mean, my son is 9 and my daughter is 3. I'm still working on that. But, you know, it's okay to make mistakes, but if you're working towards bettering yourself, it's going to be all right. Don't dwell on the conversations or events of the day that are negative. Like, what did she say about, what did that really mean that she said? What was that? Was she really like insulting me? I didn't realize it. Like, it's just going to rot your brain, and it's going to make you feel tenser, and it's going to affect your ability to have a good night's sleep because you're thinking about the negativity. You can't control what other people do. You can't control if they're mean and they're hateful and they're rude, but you can control you. And when you're spreading joy and light, that's what you're going to attract. So just let go of those thoughts and think of something that makes you feel good. So if it's whatever your plans are for the weekend, or I'm going to go see my mom for lunch tomorrow, or I'm going to get to FaceTime my mom, or I'm going to go have lunch with my son at school, whatever that is, just hold on to that. The more you can get a hold of your thoughts, the greater control you're going to gain over your emotions. I think sometimes we feel like, oh, I'm just so emotional. It's not wrong with being emotional, but you can get control of that and tame it, I guess. Like, if you feel out of control, you can gain control again. After all, I mean, seriously, why would you choose to feel anything but joy? Elated, on top of the world, creative, enthusiastic. Like, why would you want to feel bad and negative and mean? I mean, I just don't know if anybody really wants to feel that way. Knowing that you have control will give you power over all of that. All right, so I didn't even number the second one. Did I just go into it? Okay, so number 3, spring clean your belief system. That sounds fun. Unless you don't like spring cleaning, but it's just a mind thing, okay? So we are powerful creators of our own reality, but so many of us don't realize our true potential. We are all equal. Seriously, we all have the same amount of potential. It's just the only difference is some people have learned to go ahead and shine that light on what they really want and go for it, and they have the belief. And so if you don't have the belief yet, and you haven't learned to shine your light on what you want, learn how to do that. And it does take time, but you are totally capable of being the president of the United States if you want to be. I mean, really, a millionaire, whatever, you know, you're totally capable of all that. When you believe it, like you truly believe it, you're not just saying it to make somebody happy, which by the way, doesn't work, but if you truly believe it, you are going to feel it right to your core, and you're going to know it's right, and you're going to know what you need to do. Like, you're going to feel it, okay? Feel it. Many people, I think, believe that they have to live with the cards they've been dealt, and they have a victim mindset. And so life is tough. I've just been dealt a dirty hand. Well, maybe you have, but you can do something about that. You can change your circumstances, okay? It doesn't matter where you came from. It matters where you're going. And if you want to go somewhere amazing, you can. You just got to find the resources for it, okay? Your beliefs are only thoughts that you keep thinking. They're not set in stone. So you've got to keep believing, all right? As humans, we have a great capacity for sticking to false beliefs, okay? So we used to believe, I didn't because they changed it before I got to school, but we once believed that the world was flat, right? Until someone convinced us otherwise, okay? So like Rachel was saying, I joined this company 2 years ago. And never in my wildest dreams, seriously, never did I ever think I would join Mary Kay. I never even thought about it. My mom did it when I was a teenager. She would give me makeup or promote myself to a top position. Probably would have laughed, told me 2 or 3 years ago, you're going to be a Mary Kay sales director. Like, you're crazy. Because the belief I had about Mary Kay was that it was for old women with white hair and blue eyeshadow and soccer moms. Like, that's what I mean, I was a mom at the time, but I was like, I'm degree, I'm doing Mary Kay, like, are you crazy? Like, that was the belief I had, and it was a false belief. So what beliefs do you have that are holding you back? Rhetorical again. If you really challenge those, you're gonna, you'll see them start to crumble, and then it's gonna allow you to build new, stronger, more positive beliefs. And so if you have false or negative beliefs, destroy them. They have no place in your life. And ask yourself, where does this come from? Like, does it come from you? Does it come from somebody else in your life? What is this belief belief cost me on a daily basis? Does it cost me friendships? Does it cost me time? Does it cost me energy? What would happen if I let go of this old belief? Is my world going to crumble to the ground? Obviously not, because I'm here, you know, but for you, what would it do for you? You're basically coaching your way to a more joyful existence when you do that, which I think is really, really, really cool. Because even before, I know I'm talking about Mary Kay, but before that, I would always just be like, this is how I am, and this is how I think, and there is no change in my mind. But now, because of the just training I've had and environment I've been in, I have a different way of thinking about things that can bring more joy to me. Number 4, get happy now. You do not have to wait for something good to happen to you to get happy now. A lot of times we'll hear people say, well, I'll be happy when I lose the weight. I'll be happy when I retire. I'll be happy when I get a boyfriend. I'll be happy when I get a place of my own. I'll be happy when I get my own car. What is wrong with being happy now with where you are and with what you have? Happiness is an emotion. So if you reach for the thoughts that make you feel happy, you can be happy right now. You can. When you focus your attention on feeling happy, the rest falls into place, and you're going to find yourself attracting new things and people into your life that are happy. Half the people in my circle prior to Mary Kay aren't there anymore because they're not happy people. They're negative. And I love them, and they're still in my life, but not on a regular basis, just because of their thinking. Get into gratitude. Are you a victim or are you a victor? Do you choose to constantly quit because of the hand you've been dealt, or do you choose to rise above those circumstances, not letting them defeat you? Being grateful for what you have in your life right now. It may not be where you want to be, or you thought you were going to be somewhere else, but I bet you have it a lot better than some other people in this world. And there's something that you can find happiness from. Take a few moments every day to kind of savor what makes you happy, even if it's for like 2 minutes. Like, I am so thankful that my child is healthy today. I'm so thankful I woke up this morning. I'm so thankful that I had a sandwich to eat. Like, even if that's all you had to eat, that you had something, if you had water, whatever, like just savor something. When you create feelings of gratitude, you change the feelings in your heart. Your heart literally doesn't change, like almost like the Grinch, you know? How cute. I didn't think of that. Just now, just think of, I go off on rabbit trails. Just think what effect having a heart bursting with gratitude can have on your mind and your body. And when that has an effect on you, it has an effect on the people around you. And then they are going to see that you are filled with gratitude. Whether you have kids or not, it's going to reflect on other people, and they're going to soak it up because, oh, you're happy? I want to be happy too. I have people tell me all the time, you just seem so happy. And I'm like, so yeah, you know, and I used to not be that way. I mean, I was not somebody you probably wanted to meet just because I was like, but you know, I really love this one too. Number 6, create a bliss board or a mission statement for you, for your life, and your family. I think that can be really powerful because you can kind of talk about what you want out of your life, pin it everywhere, whatever magazines you want, like just, you know, make it really cool. Don't compare your journey to others because everybody has their own journey. And while somebody may be having a really joyful time in their life and you're not, it's okay. Because if they're a really good friend of yours, they are going to be there for you, and you need to be there for them in their time of joy, because another time, because it's not, we were not all promised a beautiful, perfect life full of joy. I mean, sorrow is literally mixed in with joy. And I read something, I can't remember, but it was like the sorrow that carves into your soul or something is what fills it with joy. I don't know. Hands in hand. And so it's okay that someone's having a great time in their life and you're not, because you will again. And I'm not saying, oh, it's karma. That's not what I'm saying. It's just life. I mean, just bad things happen. But it's okay. And it's okay to not, I mean, be happy for them. And you don't have to read their Facebook or whatever, but just be happy for them, because you're going to want them to be happy for you when you're having your joyous time. Take a leap of faith, move forward, and allow new experiences, new energy, and new people into your life. And you have to let go of what isn't working for you. And it could be really hard. You may have to let go of relationships that are really just not healthy for you, not good for you, and it may be really hard. But you have to do it for yourself. You know, you can't just do what everybody else wants you to do. It does take a huge vote of confidence and self-belief. But that, I love this. This is where banishing the old beliefs and replacing your old negative thoughts with positive ones come in. So banishing your old and negative thoughts. Wow, banish them. And speak that. I banish you, thought. I reject you. If you do this regularly, it's going to create the self-worth and self-reliance that you need to take that leap of faith to go find your joy. But above anything, remember that no matter what is happening to anybody, the only thing that really matters is at the end of it all, at the end of our lives, that we were filled with joy. And this may be really way too deep, but at the end of your life, do you want to look back and say you just dwelled on all that negative stuff, drama, like silly things, or you were filled with joy? You showed your family, your friends, your partners in life, whatever, that you were happy. Isn't that so important? So my call to action to you would be go find what gives you joy and go there and just run towards it as fast as you can, because it really could be what saves you from a life of misery. And you may have to elbow a couple people out of the way as you run there, but just do that. And so that would be my kind of call to action to you. And for me, really it has been 4 years of just kind of finding joy in different life situations, with death, with personal health crisis, with personal family crisis. And in each situation, I've had to find joy in something, whether it was playing with my kids on the floor for like 10 minutes. And if it wasn't playing with them, that's okay. It's okay to say, I can't be around my kids right now because I'm not in a good place. Take care of yourself. I would go out with a friend, or I would lock myself in my room and cry and watch a movie. And yes, watching a movie and crying brings me joy because I release emotion from that. And just knowing what you need is really, really important, and just being able to pass that on to other people. When I was dealing with my health stuff, finding joy in being able to sleep. I was really exhausted from all of my treatments and stuff. So finding joy in that, finding joy in talking to my best friend about high school stupid stuff. I mean, it was hilarious drama, but it made me laugh. Like silly words, like jerk. I don't even know what that means, but apparently that's a new word. But just finding joy in that, finding joy in memories. Memories are a powerful thing, and especially, now Christmas is so crazy. I will see some people get so mad because their friends are posting all this happy stuff, and they're like, I see everybody posting happy stuff, and I'm over here miserable. Well, that is their choice. And yes, it can be a really depressing time for people, and it is very sad. I mean, some Christmases I can barely get out of bed because I'm remembering my nephew, and then other times I'm filled with joy of his memory. And if the memory makes you happy, go there. And if it doesn't, let it go. And so that's how I find my joy. And so I'm gonna have the other directors come up and kind of share a little bit about some areas where they have found joy recently. And I was really excited to share that with you guys. So
Okay, I'll sit in your special chair.
yeah.
So one thing that I had been struggling with was comparing my journey with other people's journey. So whether they had kids and I didn't, or whether they were doing better in their business than I was, or, like they're in their car and I wanted to earn mine, last year, or, like whatever it was, those thoughts in my head were things that came up a lot. And I didn't realize how much I really just compared myself to a lot of people. And so it affected my home life, my personal life. Like I just didn't feel joy, like what Hope is talking about. And so what I did to replace that is I just did more of what I needed. And then when I would think like, oh, because I would have bitter thoughts like, oh, they sold more than me, but I can do more than that. It was weird, very, very bitter was what it was becoming. And so instead I replaced that thought with, they're amazing. They worked really hard to do that, and they deserve to feel awesome. So I'm going to tell them how amazing they are. And so practicing that, it really took away the comparison, because we're on different paths, we're on different journeys. There are weeks that they may do better than me, and there are weeks that I might do better than them, and it doesn't matter. We're on different planes completely. And so just recognizing that they deserve the recognition that I can give them, and then realizing that my journey is really great too, and what I'm doing is my life, and so choosing to do the things that do bring me joy. So like I recently have started getting up earlier because I am a night owl, but then like I'm like waking up super late and everyone else is gonna wait for hours, and I don't like doing that. So I've been waking up before 7 o'clock. And I've been eating breakfast and reading a book and just investing in myself because I'm a reader, but I haven't really read books like I loved them since middle school. And so I want to get that back because that's part of who I am. And then exercising. I know everyone is always like, oh, you're so skinny, but I'm not fit. I live on the 3rd floor of my apartment complex. And if I'm boxing, I'm like, oh my gosh, hold on. And I'm just walking the stairs. I walk up and down every day. So fitness is something that I really want. I want to be healthy, and I want that to be an example for whenever I do have kids that doesn't matter if you're skinny or not, it's important to be healthy. And so those are just some of the things that I've chosen to do for myself, and it's been making me feel really joyful.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, awesome. So mine is very similar to Janelle in some regard. I have 2 small children at home, and we've been having some sleeping issues. And so being my own boss, it's easy to justify having late mornings, sleeping in until the kids are screaming and you have to wake up or whatnot. It's just the reality of it. Yes. Like, just a few more minutes. And so I read a book that is called Miracle Morning. I think all of us directors have read it now. And basically, it essentially talks about living life to the fullest. And the way that you can do that is by investing in yourself and essentially committing time that's dedicated to you so that you can be centered in where you're going, your direction, your vision, your calling. So that you can really benefit everybody to the best of your ability because you've already started with you first. And so typically what that looks like is waking up before everybody. So I can't say that I've had like the perfect miracle mornings every morning because when your kids wake up at 4:35, it's hard to beat them up. But on the days that they don't, it has just been really neat for me to wake up and to make myself a warm cup of coffee. And most days I drink cold coffee, not because I prefer it, but because that's what it is when I get to it. And so treating myself to a warm cup of coffee is like the smallest but best luxury. And having quiet time to where I can just be silent in my thoughts and with God, and being able to visualize where I'm going in my goals. And committing to a planner. I really love organization, but I have lost a lot of discipline in having kids, and just, you know, it creates a lot of discipline when you're your own boss. And so, or you need to have discipline when you're your own boss, and it can be easy to not have it when you don't have someone that's swinging down the hammer. And so finding discipline and creating my schedule has been so empowering for me because it's something I can control, and it releases me from feeling like, oh, I forgot to do this, I forgot to do that, because I'm having intentional time for me so that I can be clear in where I'm going and my priorities in life. And so it really has brought me so much joy because by the time the kids wake up, I'm already alert, I'm already awake, and I feel prepared for the day to serve my family, to serve my business and my consultants. And it has felt like miracle mornings. It really has. And so that is something that has brought me joy, is choosing to put myself as the priority again. There's this whole book and this whole philosophy of like eating the burnt toast. And so I don't know if you guys have heard that before, but basically like as a mom or a wife or someone who has responsibility to other people, it can be easy to put yourself last and you get the burntest toast. And so choosing to have like the warm coffee, to me, that's really what it's been. So that has brought me a lot of joy because I feel like my days have been more fulfilling because I've invested time in me first, and so I can serve people better that way. So that's something. Your turn.
I don't have a fancy.
You do. You're the
It's my
fanciest of all
fancy.
fancies.
For me, it has been just overall with life, not just in the business, not just something in particular, it's just been overall in life. Before Mary Kay and just being a teacher and had a perfect little life, or we thought we did. And I just remember always thinking at church when they had like a prayer request and thinking, I'm so glad that I had a car.
Yeah,
Is
with
it a
the
car?
Yeah.
I thought someone was
Really,
scraping
really
metal or
excited.
something.
And I just remember being at church and just hearing all the prayer requests and thinking God and saying, I'm so glad we don't have this financial hardship these people are praying for. I'm so glad that our kids are okay. I'm so glad that we are okay. And it was just always like a thank you, thank you, thank you. We have what we want. This life is so perfect. And I had nothing to complain about. It was just like this. I was so grateful about everything. But not until a few months ago, or I don't even know when, I started realizing that I was grateful because of what I had and because of the life that I had, not because I was a grateful person. And through the hardships that we've had in the last couple of months, or whatever it was, I just learned that my prayer has been, I want to have joy in the middle of the storm. I want to be joyful and happy in the middle of my struggles. No matter what I'm going through, I want to feel that happiness. Because it is so easy to be happy when you have everything. When you have a brand new car, when you have a job, when you have money, when you have kids that are perfect health, when you have a perfect family, when you do whatever you want to do, because you can. It's so easy to be happy that way, but when you are in the middle of the struggle, it's not easy. And I lost my joy. And I just remember my prayer at first was, why? I was so happy. It was so awesome. And I was like, and that was my initial prayer. And my prayer just became, give me joy, give me peace in the middle of what we're going through. And there, I always forget, I'm so forgetful with names and scripture and all of that, but be still and know that I am God. That was the scripture that just that's gotten me through everything. And then there is, I was sharing with Hope this quote yesterday, and I just love it. I know it's not scripture, but it just sounds like it. It said, sometimes the Lord calms the storm. Sometimes he lets the storm rage and calms his child. And that's what's getting me through, and just thinking that is the kind of happiness, that is the kind of joy I want to have. And God is not going to take me out of where I am until I learn to be happy without the things he's given me. And I've just been just catching myself doing things today. I don't know what I was doing. Like they said, my morning was so crazy. My daughter pooped in the shower. She said, Mommy, can I pee here? I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, it's going to rinse with the water. Well, she meant, can I poop?
She did ask.
She did ask. She could. She just did not ask the right thing, and I just answered for the wrong thing. And I go to the bathroom, like, it just smells so bad in here. I'm like, maybe somebody didn't flush. And was just like looking, I couldn't find anything. And then she yells from bed, Mommy, there's poop everywhere. I'm like, what do you mean? And then there was poop everywhere. I'm like, did you just poop on yourself? What happened? Are you panties? I didn't realize I just bathed you. What happened? She's like, oh no, in the shower. You said yes. So anyway, I catch myself wiping poop in the shower floor with a big smile. I was just thinking, why am I happy? Literally, poop is happening. And I just realized, and I'm so glad that you allowed me to share it today, because I just realized this is the kind of happiness I've been craving. I don't know what happened later in my day, which is so crazy today. And same thing, I yelled at the kids for something, and then I came to do something that I needed for them, and it was a mess. And I was just smiling, and it was just like one of those times that something really good is happening, and you just have that joy inside of you. That kind of joy. I was just looking around me, and it was just like madness. And I've been just catching myself
smiling for nothing in the middle of madness. And that is the kind of joy that I know God has been wanting me to have. And I know that the situation I'm in is not because something wrong I've done. It's not because I don't know what I'm doing. Not because I'm a bad mom. It's not because I'm a bad wife. It has nothing to do with me. To do with His plan in my life and be happy without anything else around it. And I just picture myself. And I shared this with you guys. My biggest fear is to find myself naked somewhere. Because I've had those dreams. Have you ever had those dreams that you're like, right? Okay, you're somewhere, and then you just find yourself like, holy cow, I'm naked. And you're just trying to cover yourself with whatever. So that's like my biggest fear. But lately, I've been just picturing that. Like, that's how God brought me into this world with nothing, literally.
So we're gonna find you naked smiling somewhere. Thank you, God.
So that's why I just have to picture in myself, like He literally stripped me from, and it's not been everything. It's not like my life is just crumbling or anything. It's just been a very different life than what I've been used to. But that's just how I've been picturing myself, naked with a big smile. For lack of a better picture. And that's where I've been finding my joy. And I'm just so happy that I'm just so happy, to wipe the book of all. That's it. Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming tonight. I hope you all were inspired to wipe up poop and smile.
I really do hope that you were able to pull something from this, because we can walk into our success meeting, our job, our church with the biggest smile on our face, but we are just crumbling and falling apart inside, and nobody will ever know. But you can find joy again in your life. And so I hope that you took something from what we said tonight, and thanks for coming. And that's all, folks.